Good morning. Hello, everybody.
Jumping right on in here.
I know. Okay, so obviously we've gone to the blonder side, and so what happens when the blonder side starts to grow out, right? This is what happens, and actually we like this, but to replicate that little actual grow out with this perfect amount of little short is a little tricky. So we're now at a point where we're going to actually take up. Our intent is to get rid of all of this blonde, so we're going to take that pretty short on the bottom. As you can tell through the top here, she'll still have plenty of blonde. She's enjoying the blonde. Honestly, she said, what?
If it was still June, I'd probably say touch up the roots, let's go blonde again.
And as you can tell, like her regrowth, so this is not me highlighting yet. So she has a little of her own organic, we're going to call it organic highlight.
Organic, yeah, that's a buzzword today. Huh?
So today what we're going to do is I'm just going to actually throw a few highlights to just kind of break up around where she needs it, in addition to probably where her part line is. So as you can see, the contrast here, when you have short hair, it's nice because you can just, kind of poop it up and you don't necessarily see that hard line. Whereas like myself, you have longer hair, it lays heavier. Yeah. So you don't need to get, if she were to maintain the blonde, I would say we need to touch it up now. But due to the fact that we're going to kind of grow it out, we're just going to throw a few random highlights. And so it kind of breaks the line of demarcation, and she can still keep enjoying that while cutting the bottom part off.
Yes.
Yeah, and one thing we've kind of enjoyed with the change of the haircut is I've actually not been cutting up as high in the back on her, and we are going to maintain that a little bit. So kind of short. She actually will probably have some residual blonde still down here, which I don't look at. Some might look at this and go, oh my gosh, look at that. But we just use it. We use it as it helps with the color. It helps with the her being able to have like the depth at her root, which I don't know she likes it, so it's fun. Without committing yourself to being platinum blonde again.
Right.
So I'm going to use a number 3 here. So as you can see, this might be a bye-bye blonde moment in the front.
Yes, for sure.
So last time we had left her long, I didn't do the guards everywhere. I think maybe right through the bottom. Mm-hmm. So as you can tell, that will pretty much
there it is.
Get it back to natural.
That's the quickest color ever.
Yeah, I like that.
Just shave it off.
Yeah. So this is what we kind of when we're thinking of her next color and cut, we kind of think about, well, what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. That's actually what I told her is let's cut this off, and then she can kind of feel how she feels about it anyways.
Mm-hmm. And this is why, for those of you who've been wondering why I left it long, it's for this reason, because you can see how much that cuts off.
Totally, like in comparison, you can see like this side still
all the blonde.
Which we love this color.
We love
actually.
That. Yeah.
We wish it were like that all the time.
Right. That's right. Maybe one day when my gray starts growing in.
Yeah,
all
right.
Over.
Right. And we had contemplated maybe throwing a little bit of what we call like a root smudge or a shadow root, but being that we typically maintain some blonde, we're kind of like, you know what? It's kind of working against ourselves because in the future we will probably keep some kind of a balance between contrasting dark and light. And if I put artificial color in here now to really achieve a similar look to what we've got going on, it doesn't really, I don't know, you're working against yourself by throwing in those few low lights and things like that. So I did run through a little bit of a number 2 right on the bottom to go a little bit shorter right through there. So we had done 3 all the way up and 2 just a little around the perimeter to go a little shorter. Again, give her a little bit of that different look there. Mm-hmm. And just gonna go clean around the ears. You like it a little higher, right? Mm-hmm. And shall we maintain the?
Yeah.
Do like a little interim color, meaning we're not doing major overhauls. We're gonna just throw in some probably some little baby lights just to break up the line here. Obviously, when you do that root touch up, you can see in the past we don't have as near of that hard line because there's so much contrast. Here, we obviously you can see that. So we're gonna go through here, kind of blur the line a little bit, and kind of more of the places she needs it. I'm not doing this everywhere. Some people may not agree with me about this, but I like to do it because whatever our next color move may be, this just pops us along to that next spot. And we only color every couple, I don't know, 3-4 times. So
a year.
Yeah, literally, probably 3 a year, actually, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of, I'm using the Schwarzkopf Blondme, and just going to go through and kind of baby light, not super heavy everywhere, but primarily like back here, I can see, like, and especially when we're done trimming, I can see the fact that she's growing out, and the goal is to preserve as much blonde, and then, but also having that depth. So, because we like it, like down here in the corner, she doesn't part it over there. So to me, it doesn't matter that she doesn't have those highlights right there. So, but in the crown, I'll go ahead and just kind of take these little choppy highlights through here. And then I will as well around her hairline, pick up a few pieces and do the same thing just for blend, and then also where she parts. And again, this is just to buy us some time. She might be like a brunette for the next time. So as you can see here, this is her natural color. So I just kind of use that. All I'm doing is throwing a few right around her face, again, to kind of mimic that natural that she has, and again, to like break that line. So I'll probably do like 2 on kind of each side, and just so when she puts her hair back and runs through, it'll all kind of blend back. So, and again, this is just for longevity, allow her to get more out of this platinum blonde than what we have. And some might say, well, how come you don't put dark in it? I just don't always love putting the low light, because the low light does tend to, it is artificial color. So I just feel like it always ends up a little bit more golden. And, you know, in the future, whatever our coloring may be, I just would rather do the blonde. We know what it does. And then as her regrowth gets longer, we can then decide. You can see that she's almost got about an inch.
They'll take it.
Then we can go ahead and decide, okay, we can use her own natural regrowth, and I'll put a little highlights matching that. That is basically covering up her old blonde in with the other blonde that will probably maintain, you know? So I don't anticipate her going red.
You never know, but at this juncture,
yes, this is true.
It's not on my wish list.
I know. Little tuned up, just looks like she might have had a fresh little full highlight.
It does, yes, it does.
I just actually got done putting a toner on her. I did the same. She really liked last time's toner, so we went with REDKEN Shades, to be exact, 15 grams of 10 GI, 15 grams of 10 P, and then 10 grams of 9 V. So, and left on for 10 minutes. So that's all we did.
Processing time this time on my
color. We didn't actually use the heater except for the last couple of minutes. So this time I did leave her for 40 minutes, but that's just lifted the inside of the banana, pale part of the banana.
Right, that beautiful color. That's love for our hair.
No outside of the banana.
No outside, right. We're going
not the goal.
That's right.
So what I'm doing here in the back is I'm actually just actually cutting her and leaving this all fuller. So I'm blending, I'm not doing so much the undercut back here. I will remain an undercut more up here, and I will then use my razor, which you guys will see. We're gonna kind of cut this and pull this back to where she can have a little bit of that V like that we have, especially I was kind of sharing with her with the color variation. Why the V? It adds a little style. It's kind of something funky. But back here she can have, due to the dark and then the light contrast, that will give a fun little, you know, something a little different. So that's what we're going for. But some might go, well, where do you start to transition into the undercut? And honestly, I kind of just keep rolling with it. I probably right around her ear here will probably go ahead, and we always cut this a little bit shorter. So that is where, with the razor, so this is where I'm going to kind of start. We'll call it like the higher part of the V right here. And then it makes its own little V. So simply because this is a little bit shorter. So, and she told me that overall she's feeling definitely long in certain areas. So we're going to actually do kind of an inch around her. But see how nice that kind of, you start to still have that little, little depth and kind of contrast. Again, it's just kind of like a different step in this whole little blonding journey. I like to use, you know, when you do a lot of work on a color, like, yes, I like to be able to use it for multiple different ways. So
exactly,
that's kind of why this is fun.
And it's another way also to help keep your hair overall a little healthier.
For sure.
Like putting full bleach every 6 weeks. Right?
Totally. And especially since she is going to be, we definitely, you know, did the twice of lightener. She did do really well with that. I mean, we were talking about how she really didn't have too much breakage. So much better. Feel this.
Oh yeah, it looks better. Oh yes, yes.
That's good length.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
She's all done. She's like partially tuned up, but see, it doesn't look
like she did the whole thing.
Yep.
And I love the undercut part, the depth.
Kind of fun, huh?
Yeah, it's all tied in really well.
It's a good little stepping stone to the next spot.
The artist did a great job again.
She lets me be that way.
Oh, right. I bring it out. I bring out the best.
She does. She causes me to think towards the next time too, which is always good.
Right. Yes, we're always planning, scheming, you know, those things.
This is true.
Yay, thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.